are live.
Cool, cool, cool.
How you doing, everyone? Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the Sunday stream.
What up, what
Uh,
up?
we're here with Lam Nguyen, and most of you know him in the community as Forest Lam. Why that? First of all, I've always wondered.
Yeah, 'cause first I wanted my name just to be Lam, right?
Yeah,
But then every there's a lot of like Lams in this world. Well, like regarding that last name Nguyen too.
okay,
Because in the Vietnamese culture there's a bunch of Nguyen. So my name in like translated in English it means forest.
there you
So
go.
yeah. So it's basically like a translation of my name. That's what it is.
There you go.
Yep.
Awesome, man. First of all, guys, and ladies, of course, quick question. How's the audio? Let us know if the audio's good, so we can get that sorted if it isn't the case. Like if my mic or Lam's mic is too low, let us know. All good, Luke says. And second thing,
Nice.
I have a quick poll here for you guys. It's very simple. We just want to know, would you rather have, background music when we're streaming or not? So just hit that link, yes, no, I don't care. And we'll look into it later on. Perfect. Yeah, man. I'm super excited to have Lam today because I can't even remember how we met, but I know we've been messing around like online ever since. And when you dropped your project Rima after taking Alex Figini's course, I was blown away, man.
Oh yeah, thanks man.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah, that took me, yeah, that project. So originally, so like I think everybody planned to just finish it within 1 or 2 months, right? But then I was completely new to ZBrush and it freaking kicked my ass, dude, like really kicked my ass. So I ended up finishing it like in 4 months plus, man. It's just crazy.
Yeah,
But
but the
yeah.
amount of content is pretty impressive. Like just because most of the projects in that how'd you call it, in that course, generally people will stick to the curriculum, to the syllabus, and just do, like the character, the sketch part and whatever, not and end up with, one character in situ with different shots. And every now and then you have one or two guys who sort of push it to the next level and start having, they start working on branding, on just taking everything to that next level. If you have Lam, you can, if you have a couple images, I don't know if you kept shots, you can show them. Otherwise, I'm actually going to, let me actually do this. I'm going to drag your ArtStation page and just
Yeah,
show
sure.
some of the, it's fresh, man.
Yeah,
It's
in the meantime, I'll get Photoshop started and
Yeah,
then I'll
it's
show you
pretty
guys my stuff.
fresh. I don't know if you guys haven't seen the project. I just posted a link in the chat. You can check it out. A lot of really cool stuff from the character design to uh, the hard service part, and just the idea, the branding that went with it is also really neat. This jacket you did in Marvelous Designer, I keep looking at. I'm
Hmm.
trying to find it. I believe it might be here. Like this jacket is so rad.
The big one, right? The
Yeah,
big
yeah,
jacket.
yeah.
Yeah.
With the two like thick white bars at the back. It reminds me of, I can't remember. There's a company, and I know Ash had. I'll try to find it on the Collective podcast. There's a company that does in Europe, I believe in Germany or something, and they do these really rad, almost like advanced ninja sci-fi type of gear. And I'll find
Oh
it.
yeah, yeah. I know it's something. It's the company's ran by Eros and Soul, right? Eros and Soul or something like that.
I don't. What do you remember the name?
Yeah. Hold on, let me search it on Google real fast. But dude, his work is amazing. There's like Berlin, Germany, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
here it's Errolson Hug Hughes, or
Oh yeah, Harrison Hugh. Yeah, there you go.
I'll
Yeah,
share it with you.
yeah, yeah. Like someone in the chat said acronym. Yeah, yeah, it's acronym. That's his company.
Yeah, let me see if I can just actually just go to Google Images. And yeah, some of the work they do is just super epic. Like,
Yeah, a lot of my my inspiration came from his work. I got a lot of his like his references in my library.
yeah, it's pretty awesome. Talking about library, do you want to share? I don't know if you put together a pure ref. Um,
Yeah, I have. Yeah, I'll share it right now if you guys want to see it.
yeah, people are looking at your screen now.
Cool. Let me pull up my file and reference. All right, it's a pretty big reference file because I just add like because like during my project, whatever I see online, I just add it if it inspires me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm constantly always updating my references. It's never just a one-time thing.
And do you like when you're looking for refs, like you said, you just stumble on stuff, you're like, oh, this would work well for my thing, and you just drag it, or do you actually go scouting for specific things?
Yeah. So during the course, I like I just follow like Alex Virgini's like a syllabus, right?
Yeah.
Just get whatever's inspire you, like bug stuff I have right here. But in the end, I didn't really use that. It wasn't really like my aesthetic in a way.
Mm-hmm.
So here I looked up like a bunch of like acronym stuff right here. It's very stealthy, very ninja like.
Yeah.
And then I move over to like some jackets. I just gather whatever I can find on Google, Pinterest, or like Tumblr.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and then based off of because my character wanted to be female,
Yeah.
like look some female clothing. And then I was and like during that time, Ghost in the Shell just came out, and I
Yeah.
just bought that Ghost in the Shell art book with like a lot of awesome work. And I took some photos with my phone right here, and I just put on my reference page for the bomber jacket style. But for the bomber jacket, I mainly went with this one.
Okay.
If you guys can see it, yeah, with that style, and with this hoodie right here too.
Yeah, it's
And
pretty
moving
rad.
on to that big jacket, the inspiration came from. I narrowed it down in the end too. It fell down to these guys right here. So this is where the inspiration came from. This is guy's jacket right here.
Okay, cool, cool, cool.
Yeah, for
And
that big jacket.
and prior to this, did you have any experience with how'd you call it? Like Marvelous and all the softwares that Alex sort of uses in his workflow.
Oh no, my biggest weakness was character design. Like I can sketch like in my sketchbook to look like just line work,
Yeah.
but I have no idea how to render characters. Anything fashion design, I know nothing about. I don't know any of this, so that's why that course took me a really long time to finish.
Okay.
But so I just want to tackle my weakness and get it out of the way because I'm originally an environment artist, and like that's my background because I came from architecture school.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Cool, cool. Just a quick reminder to guys in the chat, if you guys have any question, make sure just post them. Just add the letter Q or something in front of it, question or Q, just so it stands out. And I'll run them through Lam. The first question you get is what are you using for your background environments in key shots? Like, did you model those alley storefronts, or are you using an HDRI or just background images or?
so yeah, let me pull up you want to pull up Keyshot? Well, actually, I'll pull my reference library that I use for it since you guys are interested in the environment. I mean
Perfect.
the background. I bought the packs on Photobash, that website,
Okay.
and yeah, that's where I got it from.
Photobash.org.
Yeah, that's where I got it from. It's
Mm.
I think it's run by like
By the
Wojciech Plus,
guys
right?
from
Yeah.
from Level Up, yeah, by
Yeah.
Wojtek and Jonas and all that.
Mhm. Yeah. So let me open up my references fast. It's so I wanted to model it in the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
but then I realized that it'll be so much faster and more efficient. Just like follow Alex Virgini's workflow.
Yeah.
Yeah, like just grab a photo and just do it from there. I mean, so let me find it a little bit really quick. Architecture.
So these
It's
are
right here.
okay,
So
cool.
these are the two packs that I use the most.
Okay.
So it's just hundreds of photos, hundreds.
I'll
And
photobash.org. I'll just share it with people in the chat.
mhm. Yeah, because I mean, the alleyway works really well too. The one that Alex Virginia like recommends. I bought that one too as well. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure if you take the course, you'll know about it. And yeah, I just like this because it has more of a neon cyberpunk feel, kind of like Blade Runner or like Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah, that's more of that aesthetic. That's why I got that. And I also did some like a little bit of photo bashing too. So
Okay.
do you guys want to see like the final render first, or do you guys want to see my process and then leading up to the final render?
You can share the final renders, so people can see what the final product looks like, and
Mm-hmm.
from there you can sort of take us through, from like how, you mentioned you didn't know some of the softwares, but why did you want to learn them, in the first place? Why go
Mm-hmm.
for that course? And just sort of take us through the process of, the decision of taking the course and then planning around it. How do you go about creating, the entire project? What were some of the difficulties and whatever not?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure. So let me open up KeyShot real fast, and then I'll show you how I work on there, and then I'll show you the Photoshop file.
All right, sounds good.
Um, let's see if this is all right. This one right here. I think this is everyone's favorite, the one with the raincoat. Um, but yeah, the reason why I loved I mean, I chose this course and decided to learn KeyShot and ZBrush was because I wanted to learn how to model, I think, more organically and more freely
Mm-hmm.
because I'm used to
Poly modeling.
yeah, I'm super used to like 3ds Max, and I used to use Rhino too when I was in school.
Okay.
Hated that program, super hard. And then went out, ended up learning using SketchUp and 3ds Max, and then V-Ray as the render engine.
Okay.
And V-Ray, man, it's one of the hardest like renders I've ever learned. It's like it is super complex, and I'm still learning today. But and after seeing Alex Virginia's course, after learning it, like KeyShot was super simple and easy. I mean, it's like it's like writing for dummies. Like not in a bad way, you know? Yeah, like not in a bad way.
Yeah,
Very
it's
good,
it's the
time
it's the
efficient.
easiest one to
Yeah,
learn. Like
yeah,
it's
yeah.
very logical. It makes sense. It's a very
Hmm.
drag and drop sort of type of, yeah, it's one of the easiest to and less intimidating to learn.
Hmm. All right, so here's KeyShot. I have it opened. Um, yeah, see, it's super slow, super because the file is really heavy and my computer is really weak too. Plan to upgrade to Threadripper soon. Can't wait. But all right, so the environment, right? So I just have all the textures on here already. It's just this is just a normal startup HDRI,
Hmm.
and the HDRI system in KeyShot is amazing. I personally love it. It's really easy to use and have a lot of like templates for you to use, and you can just build on top of it. Like that's what I use.
Hmm.
For example, my favorite HDRI that comes with this pack is this one right here. The three,
3-point
uh,
shadow box.
yeah, the 3 point, yeah, and it's just right above you, which is really simple,
Hmm.
but it makes the lighting really moody and very badass.
Okay.
So yeah, so if I save my background, just go to color, see, like it just looks cool instantly, and I just love it, and I don't even have to do anything. I just do this.
And this
But
is what you use to do, like for on ArtStation, you have this image where you're showing off the jacket, and
oh
even the
yeah,
guns. This is how you do it.
it's the orthogonal views. Yeah.
Awesome.
Um, yeah. So in school, I learned that like like for design, it's very important to show off those close-up shots and the orthogonal views, like right side, front, back, top, things like that. It's very
Hmm.
important,
Yeah.
especially as a concept designer too, because you want to show off if your design works or not, and you want to have all elevations available for the client or something, so they can
Yeah.
so they can see if it works or not. And yeah, that's super important. And for I guess the main shot, background image. All right, it's loading. There you go. And from here, I just play with lighting. I just use whatever that comes close to it. And for this one, I think, yeah, this one works. And I just add in some lighting that will match. So this photo right here, I got it from, I think, Cyberpunk Pack 2 from Photo Bash. And
Okay.
I just loaded in through here. And if I want to match this lighting, I just go into HDR editor right here at the top, at the right-hand corner, and I just add in pins. Like Alex Virginia shows you how to do this with more,
Can
like way more depth.
can you
Yeah,
explain what pins are?
pins are they're just lights, like they're a light source.
Okay.
So I'll just add one here. So let's say I want some more white lighting, or maybe like a yellowish lighting right here, because this makes the yellow is mixing in with this white right here.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, in reality, the white would just overpowers it. But and I'll just make it yellow. Use a color picker, which is really good. And throw it in here.
Okay.
Yep. And then from here, because controlling here is kind of like hard to make work really like to have your workflow way faster.
Mm-hmm.
Just hit a highlight point. It's coming from here, probably around here somewhere. Just click on it, and the light just moves.
Oh
And
wow.
then open the HDRI editor, turn up the radius, 60, just to make it more strong. So now you can really see it. And because the light, like you can see that is super strong, and it's just hitting this part, like very sharp, right? And you want it to spread out more softly.
Mm-hmm.
You just go to fault. And this is what I do to all my shots. I use the fault lock. I usually set it between 3 and 5, 0.3 and 0.5. And then it makes the light more soft. Bring this down to 50. Should be good right there.
And that just enables you to basically take an HDRI and sort of use your color picker to edit it and replicate sort of some of the colors on your character, like reflect some of the colors on your character or model, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty,
Yeah.
and that's fucking fast. Like it took you what, like 30
Yeah.
seconds?
Yeah. It's super fast. The part that takes the longest is making textures for because I have to make these textures all from scratch for the clothing
Yeah.
and the helmet. Let me zoom in. Let me disable this. Go back to HDR. Delete this pin. Oh, you can just delete it and it goes back to normal. Close it. And I have it right here. Where is it? All right, here, cloth and leather. Wait, no. This should under Rima. Here you go. So this is all the textures I have for my character that I made right here. And like zooming in, like you can see the bump map. If it renders, hopefully you guys can see it. So yeah, and textures.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see
yeah,
it.
for the yeah. So you can see the little textures on here. So it's this kind of texture. I don't know what it's called, but it's like a windbreaker texture, like on the North Face jackets you see a lot. And I just try to mimic that right there. And I think I made it on here. Labels. And this is where you just overlay all your graphic designs, your textures, and bumps, just all that color. And here's my material graph for it. This is just the jacket alone.
Okay.
Yeah, and this is just a lot of labels, a lot of graphic design on here. And I'll show you guys that next for the graphic design.
There's
And
always this comment that comes up when people talk about key shot, that it always renders more or less the same way, that it looks like it's very very industrial designish. It always has the same flat look. It's and so on. Like, which you don't get when you're using another third-party renderer. Like often people say, I can tell when something is rendered in Keyshot. Is that something you believe is true, or are there ways to sort of get that Keyshot sort of feel away and things like that? How do you go about that?
Um, well, for mechanical stuff, it's really good. Like, it's just because, like you said, it's very industrial. But to get rid of that key shot industrial look, um, like what I do is I just fix it in Photoshop. To be honest, it's all about lighting. If you can get your lighting right, it'll look okay. Yeah, lighting is everything. Like, for example, it doesn't matter how nice I model this
Yeah.
or how good the textures look. If I just put in oh, well, let's say I use this HDRI as lighting. Just give it a sec. See, it doesn't look that good. You can't even see much of the design.
Yeah.
Or let's say I use the basic lighting that I think a lot of people use this. It burns everything out. It's super white, and like my helmet, it's not supposed to be, the design's not supposed to be that light. It's supposed to be darker because it's like the outer panels out here is carbon fiber, and it needs to be darker, not this light. And it's all about your lighting. If your lighting's right, it'll show off better like better colors and better moods on your design. So this is just better because it's more of it's just easier on the eye. And with this HDRI, you can just edit this. You can just tilt this, and it fixes the lighting, and it just messes with lighting, and you can just set the parameters 0 to 60. It goes around, rotation too, and this is how you change it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So from here, after I get all my textures done, I'll just export it to, so what I'll do, here's the render tab. So I render it in 4K at least, because let's say if someone's looking at my work and if they have a 4K monitor or something, I can send them a 4K work and they can see it,
Okay.
It all looks better, and that's the only reason why. And passes are very important. I use the depth pass, alpha pass, of course, and a clown pass. The clown pass is the most important. If you guys don't know what the clown pass is, it's basically the pass with like a bunch of colors for you to select out in Photoshop. So from here, I'm gonna close it. Oh no, hold on. And
I'm just gonna show people very quickly what a clown pass looks like. It's basically something like this. Like it takes every part or piece of your model and gives it a different color, and that enables you, let's say in Photoshop, to use your magic wand or whatever, and to very cleanly and clearly select a specific area that you want to edit or mask or whatever. Yeah, it's back to you.
All right, cool. And I'm going to open up one of my files, and here's the raincoat. So let's see which one. I think a lot of people. All right, I'm gonna, where's this? Here it is. So this was the same one that was in the scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can see it looks totally different from what I rendered it originally. So this is the original. This is what it looks like. And as you can see, the lighting is not that accurate. It's close enough, right? And if you zoom in, all the little details are there, so the render turned out fine. The one thing that I hate the most is how the skin turned out.
Yeah.
I didn't really like it. I hate it. I hate that look. It looks like, when people say it looks like a product, it looks like you're rendering a toy all the time. I think that's the toy. This is what they mean. It always looks like a toy, and that's what I hate. A lot of people hate that. But it's very easy to fix. So what I do is here's the clown pass. Here's the alpha pass to separate background and character. And then the original image, cut out the character. And then I just play with curves. Alex Virginia teaches you how to do this, and then play with lighting, just color grading. I got rid of that question mark because if you really pay attention, I mean, you probably not noticed it until I just mentioned it, but it looks like she's always confused because that question mark is there. And then started toning down some lighting around her because it's overpowering the character. And then from here, I just color grade more, try to make it look a little bit more cinematic. Oh, that's just to, yeah, this is pretty cool. This is just to kind of like just focus on points that I usually don't see in the shot. Yeah. And it's really easy to do this. You basically just create a mask, and you just unlink it right here. Because if I don't unlink it, it'll do this, right? But if I press this little paperclip icon, and then you can just move it around.
I've never used that technique. I usually will flip, like do different things, do like crop screenshots and everything, but I never thought of, masking my entire scene and sort of moving the mask to focus on areas. That's a pretty neat trick. Yeah.
Yeah, and for the skin, I don't know if I labeled it here. Let me see. Let me turn this off. One thing that will help out a lot is if start labeling your layers. I think we all have a bad habit. It's like, oh shoot, which layer is that? All right, so here it is. So I cut out just this piece. As you can see, it's just a mouth because that's the part of the render that I hate the most. And then I throw in a texture. See, it's like a lip. So I kind of warp it. Lasso it, and the photo that I use just for that lip is really simple, really easy. You can find it. I think I found this on Google.
So that part you sort of photo bashed, right?
Yeah, it's just photo bash, but I don't think I need to show you guys. But basically, it's just I just took a front. I found a photo on Google, a front shot of like a model or something, and I just used her nose and lips. Yeah. And just throw it out there.
Yep.
And yeah, that's basically it. Here's another example. If you guys want to see another one, see something that's more drastically different. One where I did a little bit more photo bashing. No, not this one. I think this one would be a good one. I think a lot of people. Yeah, this is one of my favorite ones. This one right here.
Okay.
Yeah, this one is a little bit more heavy than the one I showed earlier. So again, clown pass, very important, and then original image. This one looks like completely different from the final product. And from here, I start photo bashing in some city lights to make it have a more cyberpunk feel. And then slowly photo bash. It's a lot, and then slowly adding in lights around it, because before it just looks dull and boring.
Yeah. That's the same process. Mache will use when he worked on Ghost in the Shell. Mache and Ash sort of used the same process. Even matte painting, like Max Berman does the same thing.
Oh, nice. Oh, yeah. I watch a lot of Max's stuff. His stuff is amazing. Yeah, I love it. And yeah, color grade, do it. Same old, yeah. And same thing, over and over. And I repeat this process for all the images that I do. I mean, each poly takes about, if it's really hard, it takes about maybe 2 to 4 hours. It depends, but like a lot of times I procrastinate too.
to build one of these, like to sort of bring the rendering in and move it to a final shot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Of course, the hardest part is ZBrush, right? And that's Let me show you guys the 3D model of that.
There's someone was asking, like, do you look at a lot of photography? Is there, because your compositions are pretty nice. Like it's obvious that you have a good eye for architecture and all that stuff, but do you have like specific photographers that you sort of follow, whose work you follow and things like that?
Yes, one of the photographers that I really, really look up to is his name is Liam Wong. His his stuff is amazing. Let me show you guys some stuff. And same, I think his the inspiration where he gets his work from is 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 a photographer named Musashi or something like that. I forgot the guy's like last name, but let me go on Instagram.
I think I see who you're talking about.
Yeah,
He does
it's
the night shots.
yeah, Insta, Instagram, yeah,
Yeah.
I think his stuff. All right, right here's his website.
Yeah, with the
Yeah,
super saturated colors.
yeah, super moody, and I just love it. His stuff is really good, and I think he works for Ubisoft as a graphic designer. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So this is where I get inspired
it looks
from
pretty
all my
good.
photography.
Um,
Yeah.
Another photographer that I like within the same, let me see if I can find Jan Urkel, who's a sick concept artist, but also has, I don't know if he has the project here. Yeah, these projects are pretty damn good, and it's actual photography when, because he lived for a long while
Hmm.
in Asia. I believe he was in Singapore, Korea, and Japan. But these shots are so beautiful, and it has that uh, concept art, sci-fi like feel to it, and
Super cinematic. Yeah, pretty
exactly,
nice.
like until recently, um, a lot of people thought these were 3D shots. I remember Max and someone asking him if these were 3D shots, and he was like, "No, this is photography." And they're like, "Okay, it makes more sense because they were just way too epic." Yeah, super moody, super beautiful. Anyhow,
Yeah, that's nice. And wait, that's Jan Urschel's photography, or
yeah, that's his photography. That's what
wow,
he
that's
does
crazy.
on the side. And his art stuff is massive. And for anyone out there who's always thinking, it's a little too late to get into concept art, I believe Jan went to Feng Zhu's school in Singapore when he was 29 or 30. Like that's when he realized, you know what, I don't like what I'm doing. Let me go and check this thing out, because he was already always interested in art and whatever not. And went to Fengzhou, did his thing, focused on concept art, pushed his skills, and now he's like on pretty much everywhere. Any big project you can think of, like he's collaborated on it, and his stuff is really beautiful, very elegant. I'll share the link with you guys. But yeah, like just at any time, if you can find the time and obviously the resources to push yourself to that, to sort of jump in and just dive in like head first. Like there's, if you have the skills and the motivation, the discipline, like it'll happen in a way.
Yeah, I'm trying to get into more into photography. A couple months back, before I went to Hawaii, I bought myself a Fujifilm X-T1
Mm-hmm.
and just a 35 millimeter camera. And dang, it teaches you so much about lighting and like composition. It's crazy. It's like it helps a lot, especially if you like to do renders in 3D, because you'll know more about the camera settings and like that. In 3D, it's a little bit like it's kind of weird. Like the focal length is kind of off. It's not. exactly like a camera,
Yeah.
but you grasp the basic concepts, like how to put shots together, because
Yeah.
because really like composition and lighting is everything. After that, the textures, the colors and stuff, it's not that important. That's like it's like a cherry on top,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
that's how it is. Yeah.
and also like a lot of the rendering settings are based off of actual photography and real cameras. So yeah, understanding how cameras work definitely helps.
Yeah, like taking your own photos, having that plate, well, like from yeah, like just like looking at their work, like it sets you apart from other artists like a lot. Like, and it looked very original because you didn't because it's your own photo. It's like it's yours. All right, and now I'm gonna show you where all the shitty sketches, the nasty stuff that started.
Man,
Yeah.
this is always the most intimidating thing, like part for me when I look at Alex Fugini's course and the futuristic character design one. Like what, as soon as they tell me, okay, sketch your character, I'm like, ah, I'm like, let me find something
Yeah,
else.
yeah, because I'm not good at sketching and I'm not good at like at 2D. And man, I see their stuff, man. Like some of the students on Learn Squared, man, their early work, their sketch and stuff look amazing, man. It looks
Yeah.
stuff. I'm like, how do you, like, how much time do you put in this? Because I put in like 4 hours, and this is like all I got, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah, so this I just try to sketch out really fast, just grab these. I did, I think, a total of 30.
Mm-hmm.
That my like that's my goal, and try to get 30 and try to get like one from each, one character from each. And yeah, I end up to the one with check marks is the one I liked, and then from there I
Mm-hmm.
moved on to this one. So the ones that I checked, I do two more concepts of each
Gotcha.
to push it further. So this is the original push push. Didn't have really much of a difference because I really like this already. I really like this one. This is what inspired the raincoat design.
Mm-hmm.
This is the bomber jacket design, as you can see.
Okay, gotcha.
And these ones, I was gonna make a male, robot character,
Mm-hmm.
but then I realized that that will take like double the amount of time to make a completely new character.
Okay,
And then I was like, yeah, I'll just scratch that, and I'll just make three different outfits for the same character, three different designs,
gotcha.
and
Gotcha.
that's what it, and the three different weapons. Yeah, and that's it. And let's see what else. Oh yeah, graphic design. The graphic design is really huge on this project. At least I think so, because it's like it sells the aesthetic of the clothing really well. Because the branding, the graphics for
Mm-hmm.
fashion design is huge. It is. It's very huge. Of course, it all depends on your aesthetic. And let me pull up my
So,
reference.
is this something you studied, like graphic design? Did you study that stuff, or was it part of architecture?
Yeah, we did, but the way we studied it, and it's not like video games or anything. It's very conceptual. It's very minimal,
Okay.
and it's very functional. Everything's for function and architecture. And the way, because I was in architecture school for 4 years in a row, and I graduated. And it's funny because when I was in school,
Sarah, fais-moi un bruit, s'il
I
vous
didn't even
plaît.
realize that concept art existed until my second year in architecture school. I was like using Rhino 3D, and I was learning how to use the V-Ray renderer. And I went on YouTube. I typed in so how to render, like just like some basic questions on YouTube, and I found Feng Zhu's videos. I clicked on it, and I was like, holy crap! What the heck? You can make a living off of
Sarah,
this. And ever since then, I fell in
Sarah,
love with concept art and
faites-moi un bruit.
digital art and all that stuff. And I just told myself I'm just gonna get architecture school done. I'll do it for my parents,
Okay.
just to make sure I have a degree just in case something happens. And
If people
then
don't know, that's every
yeah,
immigrant story. You do it for the parents first, and then you're free to try whatever you
yeah,
want to do.
yeah. My parents immigrated, for our future and stuff. And yeah, I was like, I'll just do it, get it done, so
Mm-hmm.
they can feel safe in their mind or something like that in case I don't become a homeless.
Yeah.
And then yeah, and then from there, I just fell in love with concept art, just try to get involved in more community, and I discovered all this.
When did you discover concept art? Because for me, I've always been into this stuff since I was a kid. This is sort of why I got into graphic design, because I sort of saw it as the only avenue to make art for a living in a way. I only discovered concept art 2 years, I mean, perhaps 3 years ago now, when I discovered the Collective podcast. I had no idea this entire thing existed.
Yeah, because I played games growing up. I was a huge nerd. I mean, I still am, of course, but I always knew that. All right, this art, like this video game character, has to come from someone,
Hmm.
but I never knew who. I didn't know how to, but I never thought of it that deep, until I was in college. I was trying to get my life together, and then I was, I think, 21 at this time, about 28. Well, I'm 24 now,
Yeah.
but I think so. I just feel probably like 2.5 years ago.
Hmm.
I was just sitting in the studio in school and just on my laptop trying to do my homework and came across things. Dude. From that on, I found the Skillful Huntsman, all that stuff, and
Hmm.
I introduced all my architecture friends to it, and it blew all their minds away too. They never knew this existed either, and and I think me and my other three friends just got so into it. We didn't even like listen in class. We're sitting in the back on our laptops looking at concept art stuff, and then this was like our second year in college too, and then we just fell in love with it. And at that moment, I just knew that all right, this is it. I really need to do this. And I just researched more and more. And at that time, like 3D was I think people were just barely getting introduced to it. And well, not barely, but they're in it already, but it's not that big.
Hmm.
And then 3D just skyrocketed within 1 or 2 years.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, it makes me feel better because like I can set out time for myself to learn 2D, and do 3D is my main thing for concept. So
Yeah, and when you're transitioning from architecture to concept art, there's a lot of the skills that are transferable.
hmm yeah, like basic design, composition, lighting. Yeah, they grind us heavy with that, but the school didn't really teach us how to render, how to draw, like nothing. I
Hmm.
mean, they teach us basic perspective as prerequisites and things like that,
Yeah.
but we never really draw anything heavy. They teach us like they teach us how to present our stuff very professionally, and they were hard on that. It's very hard. I think one time in class, like we would have to build a model of this a building that we designed,
Hmm.
and we had to make the interiors, the floors, everything, and the scale has to be like 1/8 of a scale to an inch or something like that. And then this girl made it, and she put like 12 hours into it the day before, and then when we had to present it the next day, our teacher, she just came up and she just smashed it, dude. She was like, nope, this is wrong. No, we did this wrong. Like, why is this there? Why is this piece there? You did this wrong. All right, do it again. Just smash our project. Just tear us apart. And we're like, holy shit.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. And we had to, like, that's how I think all design schools are like that. They're
Hmm.
very harsh on presentation. And, like, that's what it taught me. That's the biggest thing that I take from design school is presentation and, like how to compose the word, composition, and like functionality. Always keep functionality in mind. If it doesn't if something doesn't look right, it means it's not functional. That's just all it is. Yeah. But yeah, and it's back to graphic design. For this, a lot of the aesthetics. I found this on Google. Maybe this is from I think it was Max Berman stuff. And I saw it and I just fell in love with this aesthetics and try to use this this graphic design and some of these that I got. I throw it onto my clothing because I was trying to copy like acronyms aesthetics right here
Yeah.
and acronyms aesthetics and with this stuff I think this is Max Berman stuff I think.
It might
And
be
then
I that feels more like Maxim Zeskov's.
oh yeah Max Jeffscott, yeah,
Yeah,
sorry
he
about that.
uses a lot
Yeah.
of that in his work.
Yeah, and I looked at this aesthetic, and I looked at these two, and then the fonts, and like very like, Japanese heavily inspired, and went down here, same thing, and I found a common trait in them, and try to make something like really similar in that way, and try to put it on my clothing designs,
It looks
and
tight. It looks really tight. Like that whole cyberpunk feel, but still fresh enough and toned down enough that you could actually wear it.
Yeah. One of the biggest things that I learned from gathering references is it's always good to gather a lot of references to feel your inspiration, your ideas, things like that. But this is just way too much. This is not good. It's just too much for your brain to handle. And I'm pretty sure every professional will say the same thing. I mean, I'm not a professional, but like just from listening to them, they taught me that gathering a lot of references is not good for you. You always want to narrow it down. So when I narrow it down, this is what I narrow it down to. And this is just make it more simple. And this is the aesthetics I went off of. And like that's it. And so I just use these images. I ignored all these up here. In the long run, I just use these.
Okay.
Yeah, and from there, let me close this. Actually, there you go. These are all my graphic design stuff. And clothing, decals and logos. Let me open this for you guys. All right, here it is. Nice. I spent one whole week doing all this. I think it was about one whole week. It's a long time ago. So it's just branding. I came up with Rima. I forgot how I got Rima. It's from a certain word that I got, and then I just did. I just love the sound and how unique it is, and I use that instead. And this word just means technologies, and it's basically Rima technologies and some fun little graphic design stuff right here.
Yeah, it looks tight, man.
And Rima synthetics, some gun graphic designs for my guns, optic stuff. Yeah, just basic graphic design stuff. Just have fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
And some of these I bought it from, for example, this one and these two, and this I bought it from the Vitaly Bugarov's decals on his website. Yeah. I bought it and I just tweak it and made it my own. I put my own stuff on there. I use really similar aesthetics, and I put some of my own logos on there, my own types, basically.
Yeah, if you already have something, that already works, and you can sort of tweak it to create more assets, I guess. It just makes your life easier, and just it takes half of the work away.
Yeah. Always make it when you buy stuff like that, it's really nice that you can use their stuff and you make it your own, because it becomes something even even more cool, because you just build on top of that's already cool. So you just build on top of it, and the results are really awesome.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of when Wipeout, the identity, the branding Wipeout had. I don't know if you guys remember the racing game for each ships and all. It was so tight. I'll try to find a couple.
Wait, Wipeout?
Yeah.
Wait, is it a game or a movie, or what is it?
It's a video game. I know there's a sort of game show with it right now, but it was a video game, and basically you had all these different ships, and they had really cool icons, cool branding, like this, stuff like this, and it was so tight. It was really, really.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I remember that game. Yeah.
The branding was so cool. It was super fresh at the time, and
it was superb. Yeah. I have some of the references on my library too. It's really nice.
Yeah, I love this stuff.
Yeah, I remember playing that game on a PSP when I was a kid. I played it all the time, always play it, and it's fun. Man.
I was already a teenager when the PSP came out. I played this on PS1. It was one of the first games that came out when the first PlayStation came out.
Yeah, I think I played that when I was middle school or something like that.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
It's a long time ago. Yeah. Yeah. Do you guys want to see my guns?
Yeah, hard surface. Let's go.
Yeah, hard surface. All right.
If you guys have any questions for Lam, go ahead and post them. I know someone asked what's your goal? Like, are you trying to get into the entertainment industry? You've mentioned, the passion for concept art, but like, is there a purpose to you doing these? Is it for your own interest? How, like, what's behind the work?
So at first, right when I graduated from school, I didn't know. I didn't know what I want to do. Like
Mm-hmm.
I keep telling myself, I have a degree in architecture, and I have and I have I mean, I'm passionate about it, but not as passionate as I am with art. Art is the main driving source for everything. Like, you know, and I keep telling myself that. And then I was like, why don't I just combine the two together, And I just combined the my passions together, and my passion came from video games, design, architecture, put them all together and see what I can like come up with. And from then on, I just like did what I love, and then and then here I am. I just uploaded. I just started working on my own projects ever since I graduated. I just work at a part-time job, and whatever I can do to invest more time into my artwork,
Mm-hmm.
to increase my skills, and try to networking a lot at the same time. Hopefully, will lead me somewhere in the future. My goal is to work in video games and uh, and film as well. I mean, I don't know where this path is going to lead me. I mean, you can't really plan exactly where you want to go, but it will
Yeah.
lead you somewhere. And and like I listen to Mache and Ash a lot and on their streams, and I just listened to one of their suggestions. Just do what you love and put it on your portfolio, and that's what you're gonna do,
Yeah.
And like that's what I'm doing right now. Try to build my portfolio, see what my skills like lies in, see what my aesthetics lie in, and if 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 my design is fits within a certain studio, a certain game, or
Mm-hmm.
whatever it is, then I'm doing it because if it's my aesthetic, my style, then I'm gonna love it, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
one thing, if you guys don't know who Davison Carvalho is, you should check him out. Davison Carvalho. Oops, sorry, Car. He used to work at Ready at Dawn and collaborated with Ash on Lone Echo. So he's a UI designer, but all around amazing artist, pretty much. And one thing he was telling me, I was chatting with him,
Mhm.
and he was saying if you're interested in sort of doing work in film or video games, the best sort of port of entry is video games because there's so much work, so much more jobs and openings,
Mhm.
whereas film is so much more limited in terms of opportunities and this and that, and basically getting through video games and making a name for yourself or a place for yourself is a lot easier, and that then easily sort of opens doors to get into film and to do all that stuff. You just think of Mache going to Naughty Dog and just killing it. And now he's on, like when there's a movie coming out, like he basically uses the same skills but applies them to film. And that entry, like going to through Crytek and Naughty Dog and all that stuff, sort of paved the way for that.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Sorry, I'm going to drink water. Yeah, my throat's getting dry. But yeah, man. A lot of the design it just falls in place, like because it's all the same, like kind of thinking behind a lot of like art and design,
Yeah.
and I feel like you can use that skill in like in anywhere really, because the film is like what Mache said, it's way harder and it's hard to get in, and I think he has to get grandfathered in or something like that. Like that's what he said for the union or something like that.
Yeah.
But in terms of like the design thinking behind it, it's really similar.
Yeah.
But like from listening to his streams and other people too, they just say that it's way more demanding. It's really like and like it depends who you're working with. If that's creative freedom, with games it's more creative freedom maybe.
Hmm.
I mean I don't know. I never worked on film before, so I don't know. I just Like just
Film,
restating what they said.
from what I understand in film, speaking to Ash, basically when you're a concept artist in film, uh, whether you start whether you get in during the pre-production phase or the post-production phase is two different things. If you're within the pre-production, you generally participate in the creation of the world. So you think of Ghost in the Shell, like being there on the pre-production. Ash sort of developed the solograms, the solid holograms that you see around the city, on the asphalt and things like that. You can work on the props, on all that stuff. Whereas if you're
Hmm.
brought in post production, so once a lot of the visuals have been sort of approved in terms of concept art, when the concept art has been approved, you need to work off of what the art department of that movie, of the production, basically has developed. So you take something that's already there and you need to extrapolate on it. And pre-production also, the only thing you have going for you are, mood boards and whatever not, and the script. So you read the script and you can come up with your own interpretation of that. So
Yeah, of the story.
yeah,
Yeah,
depending of where you come in, like the game is different.
yeah, that's dope. It's crazy though. It's kind of because you always have to work off other people's ideas to just keep building on top of it.
Yeah,
Like that's what I noticed a
that
lot.
must be
Yeah,
really challenging, man. Especially
yeah, because
imagine you're with Ash, Mache, Vitali, you have Aaron Beck, like all these like heavy hitters.
yeah,
You're like, how do we go about this
it's
thing?
crazy. No, like imagine if you're like straight up noob, and like me, I'm a straight up noob going in, and you get placed with them. Dang man, that's scary to think about too. Like, all right, like this is our concept, and you have to do something with this too. Like, what the heck? Like, I don't know how to make this any better. It's crazy. Like, it's really intimidating to think about. Like, if something like that happens, you know what I mean? It's scary. It's
Yeah.
scary.
But
Yeah.
I think if, like they always say, Mache always says you have like amazing people and you have assholes, you just hope that you fall
Yeah.
on a good one,
Yeah.
on a good artist who'll sort of take you and mentor you throughout the process and help you out, show you, and I think most people are like that in a way.
Yeah. And plus, every single artist have a certain aesthetic, a certain design eye. It's really nice if you fall in that.
Yeah.
If you have the same taste.
Yeah.
I bet you, yeah, working in the same taste, like all the artists, it will be really awesome. Because you guys all have the same eye, basically. But
True,
yeah,
true.
yeah. Anyways, this is my pistol, the gun I'm all off. So in ZBrush, they have like a basic pistol that you can use as a base. It's basically just a normal handle gun and with a barrel. And I built off of that. And just to let you guys know that I know nothing about guns. I don't know anything about guns. No knowledge and like nothing. It's all from references. I just keep looking at photos of guns, and that's where I learned it from. I just look at it, look at all the details like this. Oh, that's where the safety is. This is where they attach like lasers, like opticals, and iron sights, all that stuff, magazines, hilts, and I just look at it and model it, and I look at other people's work. A gun designer I really look up to is Iran. He has some sick work, like for this. It's
What's
really
his
cool.
name?
Oh yeah, Iran Gurazu. Gurazu. I think pretty sure you guys know of him.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, Iran. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really good stuff. Like this is one of his works right here. I looked at. It's amazing. I love his sci-fi aesthetic. I just love it. And so I try to like have my presentation kind of similar to his.
Mm-hmm.
And I just look at all this stuff. And this is really cool too from his work. And yeah, just from that, I just try to put it on my own designs. Try to make my own.
Yeah, John Park has a really cool. I think it's on his Gumroads. He has like this really cool tutorial on how he comes up with cool guns. Let me see if I can just basically the way he brainstorms about hard surface gun props and things like that. I'll share a link in the chat, but yeah, just basically photo bashing different elements like different guns together and stretching things, pulling things and whatever not, just to
Hmm.
end up with like cool concept. And it looks like one of those sketches you just showed, that
Oh
are
yeah,
just silhouettes.
yeah, it's right here. These are my sketches I did. Basically, I got this pistol, just shapes on it.
Yeah, exactly. It
Mhm.
looks like that. You just start from that one piece and then you start sketching just silhouettes. And once you have the silhouette, you start photo bashing textures on top of it. And that gives you your final designs. It's a really cool workflow.
Yeah, it's fast too, because you're just working with basic shapes like rectangles and squares basically. You're hardly ever using like circles or anything.
Yeah.
So it's just yeah, just putting silhouettes together and just seeing the silhouette, you already know what goes where.
Yeah.
Because a gun is pretty easy to understand, in my opinion, because we see it all the time. You know, like in movies, games, everywhere we go, we see it all the time. And I think it's really easy to like to understand the parts. I mean, if you're gonna model everything, like the inside of a gun, yeah, that's a different story. That's crazy. But
All
uh,
right. Yeah, show us the hard surface and also the katana.
yeah, sure thing. And let me open the katana for you guys. Yeah, sometimes my window down here doesn't pop up. It's really weird. But I think it's the live stream. I accidentally mislabeled it. It's not an odachi. It's just katana. An odachi is it's like a great sword, but in a katana style.
Okay. You have a quick question. Lena is asking, do you have you ever tried using Fusion 360?
No, that's what I'm like waiting for. Is the next Learn Square course. I'm gonna sign up for that immediately. Like can't wait for that.
Awesome.
I want to learn it, but I mean I can learn on my own right now, but I'm just too lazy. I just
Yeah.
want somebody to just teach me like step by step, because like people like there are many different types of learners in this world, and I'm the type that has to follow a step by step process. After that, I can do whatever I want with it because I already know it, right?
Yeah.
And because I can't just jump into it and do whatever I want because I'll always be confused. I have no idea what I'm doing the whole time. So I have to have like a set guideline, kind of like a step by step process of telling me what to do. You do this, you do that, and after I get that whole guideline done, and then I can do whatever I want because I have the knowledge to do so.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And here you go. There you go. See, lighting does everything. You have like earlier was shit lighting, and then just add in a lighting that you like, and it just looks really good. Um, this katana right here, the floor is just reflective, so it's very easy. It's the katana is just like a straight polygon, and if I show you the models, it's very simple. There's nothing. It's just this right here in this window. So it's just that piece. It was just I think it's the bearing or something like that. I don't know what it's called. But, and here's the blade. Let me turn off that sheet. If it's turning off, what the heck's going on? Oh, there you go. This is the different one.
Okay.
Give me a sec. Sorry, guys. I haven't looked at this in forever.
Is it easy to export your objects from ZBrush into Keyshot?
Um, yeah. I don't think it's hard at all. It's pretty easy.
Ye- I've never used ZBrush, so I'm talking as a
Yeah.
complete noob.
So ZBrush has an exporting tool. That you just hit.
Okay.
You just go to render and hit BPR. It's like a little tab. I'll show you guys soon. And then it's super easy to do. And then because it just bridge it from a ZBrush to a Keyshot.
Oh wow. So it
Yeah,
just
it just
exports
goes
it
in.
live into Keyshot.
Yeah. Or you can just save as the OBJ or something and throw it into Keyshot. It works that way too. It don't really matter. It
Okay.
is because Keyshot is a standalone rendering engine. It doesn't need a pair of like 3ds Max or anything. It's standalone. I think that's why a lot of like designers like to use it. It's so easy and fast. All right, let me break down all the parts for you guys and minimize that. So that's the bottom, that's the hilt.
Yeah.
It's just really simple shape, very simple. And the blade right here, just that. It's just like four parts of the blade really. And there's the sheath, the caps, oops, and that's the sheath, and that's the inside. It's very simple, very easy to do. I just modeled in ZBrush. I'll show you guys in ZBrush later. I'm just scared to open ZBrush because I don't want my computer to freak out on screen. Because ZBrush is like the most, it's the hardest software to deal with on my computer. Right now I'm running an i5 and an i5 core, a quad core, and that's not good. It's super weak, and it's like a Sandy Bridge. That's like 5 years ago, and I'm saving up for a Threadripper build right now.
Cool.
Yeah, I can't wait. And yeah, I guess I'll show. I'll just show you guys ZBrush.
If you're not sure ZBrush is going to handle it,
yeah.
We can try it, but like people are also asking to see how you went about creating your garments in Marvelous.
All right, I'll do that if everybody wants to see that then. Yeah, sure. Where is here it is. Okay. Let's go with this. Okay. Yeah. I just opened this.
I don't know. People in the chat did anyone of you take Alex's course and actually finished it? If you guys did, or even have a couple of sketches, do you mind posting a link in the chat just so we can look at it?
Oh no. No. Speak me out.
It's working.
Oh shit. What happened? Oh, good.
It's working.
Okay, cool. Alright, so this is it. Alright, I'm scared. Okay, cool. It's not freaking out. Cool. So this is it right here. Pretty simple. Let me show you guys the design. This is the most important part right here. So Alex teaches all of us this. It's really cool. And then so this is the pants. I struggled the most with the pants. The pants was really hard to do because this is like a jogger style pants, you know?
Yeah.
And they have to create the seam very narrow down here. And if it gets too tight, it goes into the model. Oh. So it just goes through the model. It won't like wrap around the OBJ.
Okay.
And that's what's hard about it. And if you guys are wondering too, the base anatomy body that I used is from Dash Duty. I got a Genesis mod from Dash Duty, throw it into ZBrush. From ZBrush, I modeled it from there, exported from ZBrush, and throw it into Marvelous Designer, and that's it. And that's OBJ.
Yeah, it's crazy the things you can do with Marvelous.
Yeah.
Is really impressive. And for Ash's short, Alex actually worked on the characters and the garments for him.
Mm-hmm.
It looks really tight, man.
Yeah, thanks. And what's really cool about Marvelous is you can they have like preset materials on here that you can use. And you can set it like if it's leather or like cotton, and you can just change it, and it tries to mimic the exact physics of it and the textures, but it's close enough. But just do all the heavy lifting in each shot, and you're good, like for textures.
And do you find it like if you have something in mind, is it easy to sort of find, the right pattern and all of that to come and develop your own garments? Like right now, having done this gear, like do you think is it easy for you to go and if you wanted to completely change it and start something from scratch, Is it easy to understand?
Um, yes. Especially if you don't know anything about fashion. I don't know anything about fashion. I have to search up like patterns
Mm-hmm.
of, especially the pants. I have to search the pattern of the pants. I don't know how to make the pants. The jacket and shirt is really easy. Like you can just look at a t-shirt and you know how it works. Just look at the seam.
Yeah.
Like that's how you just look at the seam, how it's sewn, and you understand. The only hard parts is part of the pants, because the pants is really awkward, you know, and especially the middle area right here. Let's see, like right here, like the crotch area. That's where it's awkward, and that's it's really hard to like just get it right.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Let me move this up. So you can just move these things up too. This should be like a really cool. You like I see a lot of designers do this, where the way they render is
Yeah.
they just like they stack their assets on top of each other,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll just do that. You know, shows you how everything goes together. And this is the underneath. This is the tank. It's the same tank as Alex Virginie does for his robot. And then for pants, boom. So if you guys are wondering why there's two sets, one is the inner layer and one is the outer layer. I do this so I can have more thickness to the garments.
I see.
Yeah, and because you just do one, right? If you just, let's say you guys just have this, and you don't have an outer layer, it'll be really thin, and it's really hard to get thickness. Because sometimes clothes, like a lot of jackets, it's poofy, and in order to get that poofiness, you need to have two layers because there's a way to add air in between the clothing, like which is really cool. Yeah, that's basically it. This is the pants. I think it's better if I do this. Move this up.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. It's so
Yeah.
impressive how doing something as complex as dealing with clothing just became so easy with Marvelous.
Mm-hmm. Was it Travis David? His recent post of his bomber jacket is really good. That guy's crazy too. He's really good with his
That guy
with his
has
garment.
way more hours in the day than anyone else. I don't understand.
Yeah,
Like, I mean, I
it's
guess that's
crazy.
all he does, right? Testing and pushing and exploring.
Yeah.
Yeah, he released it. I think we even shared it on our Facebook page. But yeah, it looked amazing. Um, Janice is asking, how do you go about then applying the graphics onto the garments? Do you do that in Marvelous as well?
No, dude, you do it in Keyshot. So, oh yeah, that's the cool thing about Keyshot. It has one of the best like labeling systems for garments. So, because on other rendering engines, it's really hard to put like a little graphic on an object. It's really
Mm-hmm.
hard, but Keyshot is super easy, and I think it's the best at it. Like personally, that I use, and I'll show you guys how to do that soon. Um, so this right here is really cool, and this is probably one of the hardest garments I ever made because I have to come up with this by myself. I couldn't find a pattern to sew this. It's kind of like a poncho raincoat that you see in Ghost in the Shell and in the
Yeah.
acronym, yeah, on Acronym's website, their clothing. So this big piece right here that you see, this is the outer layer, as you can see.
Mm-hmm.
Let me highlight this, and I'll drag this up so you can see the difference between them. And there's another under layer. So what I have to do is, if you see the stitching, all that red stitching,
Yeah.
I have to stitch it exactly correctly onto the under layer, the layer underneath, which is this right here. And this took me forever to do this. It's super hard because it's such unique, it's such a unique pattern that I don't know if you guys know where I can find like a poncho pattern or like something like this, then like that'd be amazing. But I had to come up with this by myself. And the pants use the same one. I just use the same assets over because no one's gonna notice. And yeah, this is the poncho right there for my other character, the one with the sword.
And on the character, the blue and red lines that we see, what are those the seam lines?
Yeah, these are the seam lines.
Okay.
So let me show you. So
Uh,
whatever you click on, it highlights the pattern right here. And
okay.
here's the gizmo, pull it out. And there's you can see the inner layer, and there's the outer layer.
I see.
And this is the stitching that goes on. I'm not going to simulate it because my computer's going to crash, but
Okay.
we're good.
All right.
And for graphics, I'll show you guys how I do it probably on a gun, since it's not as heavy as a character.
Yeah, we have about 10 more minutes before we wrap the stream. If you guys have any last questions or anything I haven't replied, I haven't asked, Lam, just repost it and we'll try to blitz through.
Oh, keyshot, where's keyshot? Renderings, keyshot. Get my AR. But that was really fun to model.
I'm just browsing through the questions.
Nice. Not sure why, but I don't know why my labels are not loaded in. I think because I moved the folder somehow, but let me show you guys how I do this. Free camera, and then I move it. Okay, so applying labels and graphic designs on here, super simple. Let me turn our CPU's at 50%. Cool. Let me move. Lighting, performance. Okay. And so I just go to the material. Let's go to the matte gray. And I'll go right here. Let's tap on labels.
Okay.
And from here, you just press the add button and find a JPEG and put it on. So from here, I'll go to my project.
And it just lines it up with the normals.
Yeah, it's like UV mapping, basically. Pretty easy. Where's my graphics? There it is. Let's say I want to throw in, just throw in this. And it should load up somewhere on here. Hopefully I'm on the right texture. I'm on the matte gray, and there it is. So it's that material right there. Yeah.
Yeah, that works exactly like in Modo.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Modo's a good software too. I used to use it. It's really fun. Super. The bottom link tutorial for Modo is really good.
Yeah.
And from here, on this window, underneath the label tab, you just there's a position right here. This position is right here. So if I click on this, I can just drag it anywhere I want. Or you can just use the scaling system, which is uses numbers, and Shift X, bring it down, bring this down. Let's go -1.5, and then click on the surface. It gets smaller and smaller. Or you can just go up here, click on this, right here, drag it down. That's how you scale it, move it around. And yeah, and that's all I do. Pretty simple. And if you want it to have more of a shine to it, you can go here and put what kind of material that label is. Like right now it's plastic. You can make it metal. It changes the diffuse of it.
Okay.
Isotropic, more metal. Yeah, and that's it. And I just repeat the same process to all other parts of my gun. Or the clothes. It's the same thing with clothes too.
Yeah, you mentioned, yes, the close to, you do the same thing in Keyshot.
Yeah, Keyshot. Everything is done in Keyshot. Texturing, regarding texturing and lighting is in Keyshaw, and to make the images look better and nicer.
That's pretty awesome, man. That was a lot of stuff. Like a lot of the stream was pretty packed. Like I just going through all the different aspects of the project was really interesting. I guess the one thing, the last thing I want to talk to you about is how did you manage your time? Like, did you feel that you were pretty productive or?
Um, so I was on and off on this project. I was off for like a week or two because I was burnt out, man. I was tackling this project every single day. So like, and plus the only reason why I got this project done because I work part time at an architecture visualization like office.
Okay.
So after work, I just go home, work on it, and then yeah, I just put whatever hours I can put in, and it's because this is a personal project. It doesn't matter, you know. To me, like spending more time on it is better and taking my time than rushing, because when you rush, especially when you're learning something new, especially this, I didn't know ZBrush, I didn't know Keyshawn, I didn't know Marvelous, I didn't know any of it, and basically my only knowledge going in was I know how to sketch, you know, and some basic poly modeling. But going in, I was like, oh shit, I don't know any of this, and like before I was rushing, but I couldn't take anything out of it. It's like impossible to rush, especially when you don't know it. So you have to take your time. That's the only way you can absorb all the material into your head. And in order for all this like skill to stay in your head, you have to do it repeatedly and you have to make it a habit, you know. So like that's why I made three garment sets, three outfits, three guns, and you know like three different color palettes, you know. So it sticks into my head. It's like a repetition style. Like that's how I learned that. I learned better. Cause I mean, like when I rush, I think if I rushed, I would only make probably like maybe a really small gun or like a simple character, like you know, like something really generic.
Yeah.
But I think because I took my time, I was able to understand every single software really well. And I haven't used ZBrush for like 2 months, 3 months already. And like about 2 months. I haven't used it for 2 months, and I still remember everything in ZBrush. So, and I think that's a good sign that like just taking your time is really important because you don't forget it that easily.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, this was an awesome stream. Thank you so much, Lam,
Yeah, no
for
problem.
popping up. Like you've seen, like we've been popping your stuff everywhere because it looks so good, and
Thanks, man.
I can't
It means
wait
a
to
lot.
see what you do next.
Yeah,
For
next is
anyone in this, go ahead.
next is your 3D Kit Bash. I'm working on a piece for 3D Kit Bash right now.
There you go. And
Yeah.
anyone in the chat, if you're on our Discord channel, you can totally catch Lam there. Forest Lam, right?
Yeah, you got it.
There you go.
On Discord, it's just my name, I think. I'm not sure, but yeah, I mean, you guys will see me on there, so no worries.
All right, so we're going to wrap this one up now. Thank you for coming, and we'll catch you guys next week, same time. All right?
Awesome. Thank you for tuning in, guys. It means a lot.
Have a good one.
Later.